Hello there, my name is Daniel and I'm back with another video. If you're new here, hi, I make videos on whatever interests me. And today, we're going to be talking about werewolves and why I love them. Please like and share and subscribe, and let's get into the video. Werewolves, ferocious beings with supernaturally enhanced strength, speed, and power, often depicted as humans with the ability to transform into monstrous creatures of the night under the full moon. Werewolves are mostly known for their complicated relationship with the full moon and their savagery, depending on what lore you're pulling from. Different werewolves can be distinguished by things like their history, weaknesses, special abilities, or physiology. When I said complicated relationship with the full moon, I'm referring to the fact that they are given such destructive power by the full moon, but are also forced to transform and endure absurd amounts of pain by it, depending on the lore. Some werewolves don't experience any pain while transforming. For example, the werewolves from Wolfblood. As far as enemies go, vampires are mostly depicted with werewolves, and their bloody feud often lasts centuries. But there are times when they're depicted with hunters, witches, or even other werewolves. Typically, werewolves have longevity, which means being able to live a longer lifespan. And that's mostly a result of slow aging, as well as other factors like complete immunity to all sicknesses and diseases, and supernaturally enhanced healing. Okay, let me get something off my chest real quick. Werewolves are often toned down for the projects they're used in. That doesn't really bother me, but it has become so normalized for a werewolf to just be a bigger wolf instead of a towering, muscular humanoid wolf. It has gotten so bad over the years. There's a movie called Werewolf I watched. It came out last year, I think. And the quote-unquote werewolf is just a hairy man, which is laughable and pathetic. Werewolves are only portrayed like that in a comedic sense, like Teen Wolf with Michael J. Fox, or Wizards of Waverly Place with Mason. Those are comedic forms of werewolves. This is a horror movie. It's supposed to be a horror movie. So tell me, why am I supposed to be scared of this thing? I mean, look at these werewolves from Underworld. These are terrifying. These are monstrous creatures. Those look like werewolves. Those are terrifying. These are what they should have used in the movie instead of that hairy man looking thing. You might be thinking right now, Daniel, you're overreacting. It's not that deep. This is just a different interpretation of a werewolf. And you might be right. I may be overreacting. It's just that this does not look like a werewolf to me. It looks like someone who survived being exposed to radiation and got mutated. It looks like a cannibal from Wrong Turn. Like, if you were supposed to just show me this picture randomly, I would not have guessed that it's a werewolf. So, me being curious as to why the werewolf looked like that, I decided to search it up, and essentially, they wanted to look more grounded in reality, a lot more realistic, it being a disease and him being mutated, rather than it being a result of something supernatural that occurred. And I guess it's fine, it's just not my cup of tea. I do like the concept, it's just not my cup of tea. Okay, now that I've gotten that off my chest, let's continue. In my opinion, I believe that werewolves in TV shows are better than the ones in movies, due to the fact that TV shows normally builds and explores the lore of their own versions of these creatures. They also tie werewolves to humans, which allows for tension, drama, and thrill. When it comes to movies, I prefer a story that follows the main character as they slowly become a werewolf. Ginger Snaps is the perfect example. Werewolves have also been depicted in novels, but since I haven't read any, I will refrain from commenting on it. Werewolves normally travel in packs. Packs are the status quo, and they can either be a family pack, which is when all members are related by blood, or a bitten pack, which is when all members are turned into werewolves. A pack can be formed by just random werewolves, but that's rare. In some depictions, werewolves often have their own society and rules that they follow. A council of alphas are normally the ones who are in charge of the society. In my opinion, I think Bitten and Wolfblood are two good examples of a werewolf society. Werewolves represent unity, structure, and power. the pack's safety is top priority, and not being a part of one is looked down upon. The relationship between an alpha and their pack members can fall under many labels, like master and servant. I am not a fan of this dynamic. I prefer a more supportive relationship where the alpha mentors their pack members and encourages them. In Teen Wolf, there is a sort of emphasis that is placed on bonds when it comes to werewolves. For example, it is stated by Cora that losing a pack member isn't like losing family, it's like losing a limb. Peter even gave a short explanation on how when a wolf gets injured or sick, wolves don't just abandon them. They hunt for food and regurgitate it into the mouth of the wolf, and they can be instrumental in rehabilitating their own. And werewolves even have a sort of ritual based on something like that, like when Derek gave up his alpha status to completely heal Cora. Even though I like the concept that being an alpha grants you different abilities, like separate from being a werewolf, I prefer when alpha means leader and that's it. Meaning, I like when a werewolf is being revered for their intelligence, strength, morals, leadership capabilities, and values, and actually earns the title alpha, which is leader, rather than, oh, I killed someone who was an alpha, so I get red eyes now and I'm an alpha, even though I lack all those qualifications. Teen Wolf also shows us that if the pack members are at odds with each other, it can have an effect on the alpha. Scott was unable to heal himself because his pack was no longer together. It also extended to his abilities like super strength and super speed. He didn't lose those abilities, he just wasn't able to use them properly until his pack was united. But I do think that that was an isolated case because both Peter and Derek were still as strong as they were without a pack. The concept of a pack is sometimes used when discussing whether having blood relations is better than having relations with people unrelated to you. Essentially, is blood thicker than water? When people say they found their own pack, they're often talking about people who are dependable, loyal, supportive, and is overall a good person that will look out for you. Essentially, a friend group, a really close friend group. There are some depictions where a werewolf isn't a part of a pack of werewolves, but a pack of various different creatures, which still keeps the core meaning of a pack. Depictions like Oz from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Monroe from Grimm, and Dyson from Lost Girl. Some interpretations, werewolves are seen as an extension of yourself, and in others as an alternate form. The former is essentially you are the werewolf, there is no separation between you and it, and there is no need to learn control or suppress it, wolf-bloods being the best example of this. However, they are classified into two groups, wild and tamed. Tamed refers to wolf-bloods who live amongst humans and participate in society as normal people and lock themselves up on a full moon, while wild refers to wolf-bloods who don't suppress their wolf habits or tendencies. They don't lock themselves up on a full moon, and they also live in the wilderness and avoid humans. The latter is essentially your wolf form is just a different form you have access to. Your memories in that form are kept separate from your human form. There's also an interpretation where werewolves are seen as alter egos. The best example would be werewolf hides from The Order. These hides choose their hosts, and it's where the human gets their power from. How people become werewolves varies. Some become werewolves by being bitten, while others become one by drinking rainwater from a wolf paw print, or being chosen by a werewolf hide, or having werewolf saliva enter your bloodstream, or even being cursed by a witch. Although being bitten is basic, shows like Bitten and Teen Wolf add a little flavor to it. In Teen Wolf, once bitten, the person either becomes a werewolf or dies. While in Bitten, it's more about surviving the transformation. It is stated to be so grueling, so horrible that even if you survive, you could be traumatized or left insane. It is so intense and painful that no human woman has ever survived. Well, outside for Elena, and even that is a technicality because she had dormant werewolf genes. One really unique transformation I can recall is from Hemlock Grove, where instead of the body transforming into a wolf, the wolf comes out of the body like when Peter is shedding his human skin and underneath it is his wolf form. and when he's transforming back, his body is inside the wolf, so he either comes out of the wolf or I think his human flesh comes around it and forms his human body. In relation to transformations, Teen Wolf gives us a sort of fusion of the two, which is something I really like. Instead of only being able to go from human form to wolf form and vice versa, the person remains in human form but has fangs, claws, glowing eyes, and facial hair. This other form makes fight scenes a lot more engaging and interesting, and it also provides a way for a TV show with a lower budget to have werewolves on screen a lot, just not in wolf form. Some of my favorite werewolves are Elena from Bitten, Derek from Teen Wolf, Lucian from Underworld, Yana from Wolfblood, and Jack from The Order. And some of my favorite werewolf movies and TV shows are Teen Wolf, Wolfblood, Being Human, Bitten, Underworld, Rise of the Lycans, Ginger Snaps 1 and 2, and I kinda liked Viking Wolf though, but it's not my favorite. It's just an honorable mention. Most of the reasons why I love werewolves comes from the stories that they're involved in, the lore that they're attached to, and just the concept of being a werewolf. I believe that werewolves in TV shows are better due to the fact that they can be expanded on in many ways that fleshes them out. As long as the essence of a werewolf is present, I'm fine with however they choose to depict it. I really hope we get more werewolf TV shows in the future, and I can only pray that they are competently written and well produced. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.